Traumatic injury to the disc can cause annular tears to form. Pressure on the disc causes herniation of the nucleus pulpus through the annular tear. Inflammatory tissues develop within the annular tear, causing back pain. The inflamed annular tear generates pain signals. Additional injuries can cause symptoms to worsen. Inflammation from the annular tear can spread to nearby nerve roots, causing leg pain. Signals travel up nerves to the brain, causing localized back pain. Pain signals reach the primary somatosensory cortex, causing conscious awareness of pain. If you have a herniated or bulging disc and back pain, submit your MRI for a free review at www.mri.deukspine.com. Traumatic injury to the disc can cause annular tears to form. Pressure on the disc causes herniation of the nucleus pulpus through the annular tear. Inflammatory tissues develop within the annular tear, causing back pain. The inflamed annular tear generates pain signals. Additional injuries can cause symptoms to worsen. Inflammation from the annular tear can spread to nearby nerve roots, causing leg pain. Signals travel up nerves to the brain, causing localized back pain. Pain signals reach the primary somatosensory cortex, causing conscious awareness of pain. If you have a herniated or bulging disc and back pain, submit your MRI for a free review at www.mri.deukspine.com. Traumatic injury to the disc can cause annular tears to form. Pressure on the disc causes herniation of the nucleus pulpus through the annular tear. Inflammatory tissues develop within the annular tear, causing back pain. The inflamed annular tear generates pain signals. Additional injuries can cause symptoms to worsen. Inflammation from the annular tear can spread to nearby nerve roots, causing leg pain. Signals travel up nerves to the brain, causing localized back pain. Pain signals reach the primary somatosensory cortex, causing conscious awareness of pain. If you have a herniated or bulging disc and back pain, submit your MRI for a free review at www.mri.deukspine.com. Traumatic injury to the disc can...
Okay, Deuk Spine Institute, Dr. Deukmedjian. We're broadcasting live spine surgery late at night. And the reason we're here this late is we've had some earlier surgeries that took a long time to get done. So we're going to be doing a Deuk laser disc repair. Okay. I know you haven't done a lot with these for a while, but we're done with the AP. You should be already back in a lateral position. Okay, I shouldn't have to stop and instruct you. You guys got to learn to do your jobs independent of me. What are you doing with this orbit? That can't possibly be the orbit is. Okay. Getting there. Shot. There's the facet joint. That's good. Shot. All right. We're going to just sneak around the facet joint. Shot. We're heading toward your first bad disc, okay? You let me know if you're having any pain, especially any pain down your leg. Deal? Yes, no, maybe so. You feel anything? Huh?
Tingling.
Where do you feel it?
Right.
And shot. All right, we should be inside that disc pretty good. She's got a grade 1 listhesis at 4 on 5. You're doing really good, by the way. Now we're going to go 3, 4. We've already numbed up the skin. Her problem is narrowing of the spine and herniated discs. It's a little higher than I want to be. Huh? All right.
We know, man.
I'm sorry. This is the worst part of the surgery. I realize that. Shot. So her bones are hard to see because she has some osteoporosis, osteopenia, and that's not something that we're here to fix today. Shot. Shot. Give me an AP, please. Okay, that's good. No, we're good. Yeah, go back to a lateral. Are you comfortable? As much as you can be, huh? All right. Yeah, her spine is a bit scoliotic. Huh? Really? Shot? Shot? Right? I'm experiencing the same thing. We'll get it done. Don't worry. Shot? All right, we're aiming. What? I need you to get that end plates lined up better at 3-4. So it's a wag issue. Pick one way and just see how it gets better or worse. I think that's worse. Try a little more. That's better, but it's not quite, not 100. No, I think we. Too much? Yeah, let's come back. Right there. That should be good. And what I'm using is a L4 pedicle. Shot. Looking good. Are you comfy? Where do you feel that? Huh? All right. Shot. Shot. Do you have much back pain? Do you get much back pain? Is that where you typically get back pain?
Yes.
How bad was that on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being the worst pain you can imagine. How bad was that? Well, what's the highest it went to?
Number-wise, man. 10
Uh,
out of 10, excruciating.
how bad is that on a scale of 1 to 10? That's what I thought. All right, what about the one before? All right, 10 and 10. Oh, was it 034 was a 10 and 045 is a 10? All right, we all agree that we're at 3.4 and 4.5. 4.5 has the slip. You can see the disc below at 5.1 earlier. Let's get started. We're going to put you to sleep now. You're going to go under anesthesia. When you wake up, we should be done, okay? I need you to count for me out loud from 1 to 100. Nice and loud. Shot. Good girl. That's beautiful. Keep counting. So we are inside the two bad discs. And we went from the outside to the inside of from the outside world. We're making a small incision now. Keep counting. You have any more local? You're doing great. Everything is perfect. I'm just giving you some more numbing medicine, that's all. Yeah, that's the numbing medicine. It burns a little bit going in. You're fine. Okay. Now we're going to bring our dilator down over the guide wire. Shot. How is she? Good. All right. You're doing good. I think we may need to open just a little bit more. Watch the needle here, Luis. Okay. You all right? Okay. Keep counting. If you're awake, you've got to count. Keep going. Nice and loud. I want to hear you count. Shot. So she's asleep. This is the L34 disc. And the reason I chose to go on both sides, she's got leg pain on both sides, but it's worse on the right. And so we're going to go fix both discs. You can actually see the herniation right in front of the dilator tip. There's a little space, and then there's the herniation itself. And I'm actually feeling it. Shot. So I'm going to bring my dilator into the herniation and basically push the herniation back into the disc. And then we're going to take the herniation out from inside the disc. This is called the inside-out technique. We've talked about it before. The inside-out technique has its advantages over the outside-in technique. And those advantages include it's safer usually to remove a herniation from inside the disc than it is working in the foramen where the nerve root is. Shot. 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 Looks a bit brutal, but it's the safest way to advance the dilator and the tube, really the tube mostly, because you're able to deliver small amounts of energy directly to the tube and dilator without shoving it in really hard and fast. Shot. Looks good. We're inside the disc.
Yeah.
So we've already planted our 2 needles. They're going through the tears that we're going to be fixing this evening. We are inside the disc, and this is the L34 disc. You don't just touch it, you have to pinch it, okay? That's the right way to do it. These are all little pieces of herniation. Take it. I need to adjust the focus a little bit. That's better. We're going to bring our laser in. This, whoever wrapped this, the whole purpose of wrapping it, see the water dripping off here and then running down here? The whole purpose is to get that part right there. If you don't get this part, then you failed at doing what you're supposed to do. The fuck is that? Okay, we are literally inside our herniated disc. You can see some calcification as a golden color. Wipe. Come on. What is that noise? Any way we can turn that down? Stand by. Grabber. Let me take the grabber because it takes too long for you to hand it to me. So you just take the laser, control the laser fiber. Let me take the grabber. Just have it somewhere I can grab it. You got to watch yourself. You got to know when to step back. You ever danced with a girl before? What happens if you don't move your feet right? And what happens if you don't coordinate the movements perfectly? That's right. Is that good or bad? That's right. That's what separates the people who practice and observe and are smart and skilled versus the dumbasses. And girls don't like dumbasses. A smart person knows what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. They foresee it ahead of time. They can anticipate and they can react and control themselves so that they don't do what they shouldn't do. Okay? That's what a scrub tech has to do. You got to be anticipating what's going to happen. See how Luis watches the monitor? Why is he watching the monitor? That's right. To see what's happening. Okay? And he then knows, based on what's happening, what I'm looking at, he can project and anticipate what my next move is going to be. That takes experience, but there are people who will stay in the operating room for 10 years and never figure it out. Okay? So it takes more than experience. It takes observation, forethought, thinking and planning. And if you use all the parts of the brain you're supposed to, then you actually become pretty good at predicting what's going to happen in the future, the near future. Okay? And that's what Luis has gotten really good at doing. I've pushed him to do it over the years. I had to go through the same training and the same process. Most human beings are not capable of it. They fail. But I believe that they can do it, they just don't do it. They don't demand it of themselves. You understand? You have to want to become better, want to improve to improve. If you're happy just being the way you are, then you'll never make improvements. You'll never achieve greatness. No one is born great. People become great through a process of evolution, of thinking and behaving. I wasn't born with a laser fiber in my hand and my understanding of spinal anatomy. I had to earn it through very diligent studying and observation and, you know, basically paying attention to what's happening, thinking about it. And that's the rewards in life come to people who are willing to invest the time to learn and become better themselves. Okay? And people who are happy, like, what was his name? Why are there so many bubbles? Ridiculous. What do you guys, how can we explain more bubbles? Is there any explanation for it? No, is there any way the air that's in the IV bag is getting sucked in to the bottom of the bag? Is that possible? Well, you would see the air bubble down by the bottom where the water is taken out of it, right? It's all at the top. There is one other way to get air bubbles in the line. It's a leak. Nope. I want you to see if you see a leak. Any leaks? Okay. But you don't see any evidence of a leak. Leaks usually don't happen on the downstream side, they happen on the upstream from a pump. The sucking side. The side where there's sucking going on. So all pumps, that's a peristaltic pump, right? It rubs little rollers along the tubing. What do you mean a pressure pump? Okay, and it pushes against the IV? Ah, it doesn't have the rollers. So then that doesn't explain. And we don't have the roller ones. Understood, okay. A lot of bone spurs in here.
Dr. Deuk.
These are all, this is the annular debridement, by the way, of the Deuk laser disc repair. You can see the annular fibers, little white fibers in there. Fucking crap. You're holding on to little pieces of herniation. That's why the disc is not able to heal itself. This is very collagenized right here. It's been scarring for years from inflammation. The inflammation happens within the annular tear, and it comes from the irritation of the blood vessels and the inflammatory system by the herniated nucleus pulposus, the blue stuff. Diego, why don't you show our audience what the Deuk laser disc repair does, how it works with our animation.
Alright, doctor, they're watching the video. You are on mute.
Anyway, what is that?
The inflamed annular tear causes back pain. Inflammation of the nerve roots causes leg pain. A Band-Aid-sized skin incision is made. A small tube is inserted without damaging the bone or soft tissues. The laser removes the herniation and debrides the annular tear. The annular tear heals on its own. If you have a herniated or bulging disc and back pain, submit your MRI for a free review at www.mri.deukspine.com.
1, you are live.
Okay, we're back to pretty much the same thing we left you with, which is using a combination of the laser to debride the annular tear and remove the small pieces of herniated disc. And there's a lot of them. And the other thing we're doing is we are using our pituitary rongeurs or grabbers to take out little chunks of herniated disc. Getting pretty close to the end of this disc. And what I'm seeing is this disc was damaged a long time ago, at least 5 years ago. You can tell by the amount of scar tissue and calcium. All this orangish color stuff is calcium. And calcium binds to damaged inflamed tissue in a process called dystrophic calcification. So this disc injury is probably around 10 years old, or 5 or 10 years old. Could be older, but the parts that I'm seeing right now, it's about how old it is. Another piece of herniation there. Pretty badly damaged disc. Gonna swing around and look here laterally. You see the torn annular fibers. They've been trying to heal for years, but they got this stuff stuck in them right here, and that's keeping them from healing. It's where the herniation came out at L34. This area that I'm debriding. The nice thing is this patient is going to be able to feel good with just a quick surgery that takes an hour and a 1 hour recovery. So there's no fusion or metal being done. She didn't want it. That would be an alternative surgery. Most people don't want a fusion. Frankly, I don't blame them. I don't either. If I ever have a disc herniation or a degenerated disc that's painful, I really want this surgery done. So Luis, you may be doing my surgery someday. Okay? I honestly think you could do it. You've done enough of these, you pay attention, you understand the steps. Alright, we're pretty much done. Those fibers there we're seeing are just the posterior longitudinal ligament. And just behind them is the nerve roots. But this is the back of the herniation. We've cleaned it all out. It's looking good. I'm very happy. And this was a 10 out of 10 pain disc for this young lady. So I think she's going to do really good. This is definitely causing a lot of her pain. All right, 12 o'clock, you can see the epidural veins, and this herniation is done. Gone. Okay. I think we've got all that. Let me just get this little part right here. Sorry. Now this disc is going to have to heal. It will take a year to fully heal. Until that year comes by, this patient and any patient that has a Deuk laser disc repair can re-injure their discs. And a re-injury means re-herniate. So we don't want that to happen. The patient needs to wear a back brace for 6 weeks and avoid any kind of heavy lifting. Done.
You are live.
It is now November. All right, we finished one of the 2 discs. Let's have it, Luis. We're going to use a little antiseptic. You got to go through the steps in your own mind, my friend. Otherwise, you'll never learn them. You got to start like, okay, what's he going to take next? What's he going to take next? What's he going to take next? And the truth is that I do the same thing every time. So if you learn the steps, then you know to anticipate what I'm going to need. We're training Flynn to be a scrub for these cases. All right. One down. Una más. I'm going to switch sides. I'm going to come onto the other side. This patient is so nice. Yes, her spine was a little twisty, but her body was nice and thin, and it made it relatively easy to get into the discs. It didn't take much time. I was able to access those discs very quickly. I'm right behind you. I'm switching sides. You're doing great. How firm are you pushing? It should be about this much. Okay? And the reason it's that much is you want about 12 millimeters of mercury pressure, because it's just veins that are bleeding if they're gonna bleed. Shot? Uh-huh. Is that her making those noises? I think it's suction. You're right. I thought she was whistling Dixie. I agree with you. I think it's suction too. All right, any questions from our audience, Diego? We're making our second incision. It's a Band-Aid incision, 7 millimeters. And we're going to bring our dilator down.
We have one question from YouTube. It says, is the laser wave traveling through the water?
Is the laser wave traveling through the water? The answer is no. The water inside there will stop the laser energy, like dead in its tracks. So the laser wave actually comes out of the tip of that glass fiber, the blue fiber. It comes out of there. Shot. What is it?
It's your apneic oxygenation, because I got the oxygen turned up to give a buffer of CO2 just by certain.
Is everything okay? Oh, okay. You're freaking me out.
One of my strategies for always keeping oxygen.
Oh, hey. I like oxygenation. I like oxygenation. I like all kinds of nations. Shot? All right, so the laser energy actually travels. Shot? Actually travels through the glass fiber. I'll show you in a moment. You can't really see the glass that well, but it's right at the tip of the blue thing. And the laser energy comes out about 0.5 millimeter from the glass fiber. So not very much. And the reason it doesn't come out far is that once it leaves the glass fiber, it basically disperses pretty quickly. Yeah, pull in like this for this one. Yeah, shot. That's good. So the energy, go ahead. Oh, nice. The energy just goes out 1/2 millimeter, which is almost nothing. It's basically just works where the tip of the glass fiber is. And then the water disperses it. Very, very good observation. And of course the laser is going to heat up the tissues. So the water is cold. We use cold water, cold irrigation. It's not water. I say water, it's saline. It's physiological saline. So it's basically the same as the chemical composition of blood minus the blood, red blood cells, white blood cells, etc. But it's got the electrolytes. It's pH stable and neutral. Basically, it's just like serum, So, long story short, it is cold, and it carries away the heat from the laser interacting with the tissue. You can see that. All right, so this level had a bigger herniation, and hopefully we'll get it out. If it's like the last level, it'll come out in lots of little pieces. That's what we're starting to see here. Let's have the laser. So we got this disc and we're going to be done. Probably another 15 minutes max. And again, I appreciate everyone sticking it out.
Yes, we have a comment in the chat that I guess they're returning from a previous stream and they're like, holy smokes, what a long day for you and your team. Great work.
Yeah, you're right. My team is amazing and I appreciate everything they do, and I know the patient should as well. We don't normally have days this long, but for some reason today was one of those days where the patients were very difficult intubations. I think the second patient must have been somewhat difficult too, right? She wasn't too bad? There's a herniation. Yeah. The first patient took over an hour to intubate, but I mean the second one was a long case too for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. No, for sure my part took longer than normal, but I just feel like somehow here we are. It's normally not this long, but it is what it is, and I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you for noticing that. Ooh, herniation. Again, it's coming out in little pieces. I think she's going to be happy with her results on her back and leg pain. Any other questions? You want to show our audience with the animation what exactly we're working on here and how it works? This is the lumbar Deuk laser disc repair.
Yes, doctor, you're on mute and they are watching the video.
Oh yeah. Another piece of herniation right there.
Of chronic back pain. The inflamed annular tear causes back pain. Inflammation of the nerve roots causes leg pain. A Band-Aid-sized skin incision is made. A small tube is inserted without damaging the bone or soft tissues. The laser removes the herniation and debrides the annular tear. The annular tear heals on its own. If you have a herniated or bulging disc and back pain, submit your MRI for our
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed our animation, and for those of you who don't already have the app for the Deuk Spine, you can download it at the App Store. It's $1 million per download, but that's just the normal price. This week we have a special. It's free. So if you download, oh, I think I found the big one. It's not wanting to come though. It's fighting me. It's giving up its children in little pieces. The app this week and this week only will be free. And then we'll charge you $1 million. Right, Luis? What's that? Oh, okay. Oh, she got it for free. All right, good. I'm kidding. You know, we'd never charge $1 million for our app. Just $500,000. And check out the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel for Deuk Spine Institute is a got a lot. Are you really that hot? Do you have like habanero sauce or something with your sub? Huh?
What sub?
I thought Karen ordered subs.
Yes, there's subs in the fridge.
There's subs. You guys have dinner, subs. I bought you guys lunch and dinner. I'm a big spender. A big spender. What's wrong? Your eyes are itching? Want me to squirt some saline in them? Here, bring me your eyeball to the laser. I'll fix it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, this disc herniation is interesting because it's got some older looking parts and some newer looking parts, both. And it's typical what we find actually. But it's nice because this right here is a newer part, the bluey stuff, the really fluffy bluey. But then you got this part right here, which is part of the cartilaginous surface of the end plate, which has been calcified and damaged. You can see how much damage there is. But some of these areas appear to be more chronic or older, and others appear to be younger. Let me have the grabber. Okay, good. We're getting close. That's fine. Always switch it when I have the grab. You know what I mean? Look at that tear right there. Oh, that's beautiful. So gratifying when you find these things. You know that's fixing that's going to really make a difference for the patient. All right, so somebody was asking about the laser energy and how it's released and dissipates. Now those bubbles are from just switching the bag. Now look here at the tip of the laser. There's like a little glass fiber there. That's where the laser energy comes out at the tip. So anything I want to get rid of, I just literally direct the tip of the laser onto it and touch it. And by doing that, it gets literally full. And don't worry, Liz, Lindsay, if you're watching this, we love you here at Deuk Spine. Liz is a great woman who is suffering through some personal medical issues, and we just want to tell you that we're totally 100% behind you and support you. Okay?
We have another question, Doctor.
Sure.
What nerves from the neck control the right hand?
What nerves from the neck control the right hand? Great question.
The fourth and fifth fingers.
Well, when you say control, are you talking about muscles? Or are you talking about feeling, like sensation? Because motor and sensory are different. But basically, fourth and fifth fingers are going to be your C8 nerve root, C7, C8, mostly C8, and even T1. So that would be a herniated disc at C7, T1, which would get the T1 nerve root, and then a herniated disc probably at C7-1. C8 nerve root. So I don't know if that answers the question or not. But typically the C8 and T1 nerve roots. See the tear? And this is all part of the herniation right there. And I'm just cutting it in little pieces and delivering it. That is part of the herniation right there. And see the blue dye is staining the nuclear material? And it's just scarred in. This nuclear material normally would just come right out, but it's been here for a long time. This piece here looks to me like it's at least about 3 to 5 years old, based on the amount of scarring. It's just stuck to the annular tear, and it won't come out. So I just released it about 90%. I'm going to go in and take the rest of it out by grabbing it, if I can. And there it is. Little webbit. There we go. Come on. And a little more herniation there. But so far everything is going well. This is the to the right is going to be the C4 end plate. You see that pinkish thing? That's the bone. Laser. Come on, laser, laser. Please don't distract her. Those white fibers there that run across from left to right at the roof, those are your posterior longitudinal ligament fibers. Kidding me. Come on, get out of there. Fucking thing. Nice. Sometimes little herniations, they don't float out like they're supposed to. They just get stuck and create a visual obstacle. Right, looking good. 5 minutes, doctor. Now this was where we had that grade 1 spondylolisthesis. We're not fusing, we're not fixing the spondy, but we're going to get rid of her pain. You got to make sure you get behind the vertebral body. You see that? Oh, there's a piece of herniation. Yes. It's right up in there. Now that's the L4 vertebral body. I just zapped it. You can see that little orange color thing, and I'm right behind it right now. It's right where the herniation is. You see it right there? I mean, we've been getting most of the herniation, but there's still a little left there. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh yeah. So cool. Take. Any questions?
No questions.
You're supposed to wipe this
But
when I give it back to you, okay? You're supposed to go in and wipe the mouth and get anything that's still in there out. Have you figured it out yet? You understand it? How do you get it out of there? It's actually not just a grab and pull. Most people think it is. But there's something you have to do. Luis probably knows. You know what it is, Flynn? Huh? You actually have to shove a little bit of that inside the mouth and then pull it out. You know why? Because that stuff grabs the disc and pulls it out with it. That's the secret. And it takes a long time to figure it out. Unless somebody explains it to you. Is that you or the patient moving? Oh. Just about done, but yeah. I need like 30 more seconds. This is the all scarred up herniation. You see that collagenized? How collagenized it is? Yeah, I need more than 30 seconds. 2 minutes. This is the herniation that's sitting underneath the nerve root. And like I said, this side, the herniation's pretty good size. Stand by. Just about done here, but I just need a little bit more. Luis, you alright? Thought I saw you doing the pee-pee dance. If you need to excuse yourself. Just love these herniations that want to stay. It's like that guest that just doesn't want to leave, you know? And you're like, hey, you were supposed to leave last week. Why are you still here? I'm kidding, I don't have any of those, but my mom Don't say that. But yes, you're right. Definitely my mom. Just kidding. Mom, yeah, she's actually at my sister's house. She's something else, huh? You know she's a nurse, right? She always talks about the nursing days. Huh? I cannot. You wouldn't want to do what? Oh. You know, she did a lot of psych. She did a lot of psych. She actually was an instructor for nursing school. She taught nurses. Did she tell you that? Yeah. What the fuck is this? Damn it. She was an instructor for years. Being what? Oh yeah. She likes you guys a lot, so she's always telling me what great nurses we have. You have really good nurses. Stand by. Really, she does. You have really good staff. She's always complimenting. All right, I think that was hopefully it. Let's see. I don't see anything else. That looks all pretty good. Let me just check that north corner. Let me have the grabber. Just let me see if there's something there. I hate this thing. I think we got it all. What's that? Right there. Let me get that. Come on. Come on. It's a degenerated piece of disc. Things are looking pretty darn good here. I don't really see anything more. Uh, 30 seconds. Luis, you see anything else? Just let me get that one more time. How much more irrigation do we have? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I just want to make sure we get everything out of here. Is that her? No? She okay? She's not moving? Is she moving? Answer me. Not you. I'm talking my team here staring at me. Is she moving her legs at all? Moving her body. Is she good? Huh?
I don't see her move at the moment.
Just say then say no. She's not moving. Yeah, just say I don't see her moving. Right? Let's have the grabber again. All right, there. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. It's looking good. I think we're done. Little antiseptic. Little Christmas magic. Oh, come on, get in there. Beautiful. Great job, everybody. Seriously, very tough day, but always interesting, you know. We're done here. We did bilateral, but not one disc bilateral, two separate discs. And look at all that. Look at all that disc material we got out. You see all that? Yeah. Okay. Yep. We're going to take this tube out. You got that? Great job. We're going to put some pressure here for a couple of minutes, and then the gentlemen here that work with me are going to close that wound up. Great job. Thanks for sticking it out, everyone. You know what I'm going to do? Since you guys are so awesome, I'm not going to do surgery next week. So you can all have next week no surgery. No surgery next week. All right? Okay, if you have questions, type them up. I will answer them for you, but we're pretty much done for the day and night. And next week. EBO, 3 mil. Okay, Dr. Ara Deukmedjian with Duke Spine Institute and Spine Scams Exposed. Once again, talking to you about some of the hanky-panky that goes on in the spine industry. Today we're going to talk about an article that just came out related to two companies fighting each other over who gets to screw you. Literally. So these two companies produce spinal implants, screws and rods. And what we've learned so far, hopefully, from listening to my Spine Scams Exposed segment, is that most patients with back and neck pain and herniated discs, they don't need these screws and rods. They don't need metal plates in their neck anymore. But we call these things spinal implants. When you put spinal implants in the neck for an anterior cervical discectomy and fusion, we're talking about cages made out of PEEK or metal, sometimes cadaver bone, and we're talking about metal plates usually with screws that bolt the plates onto the spine. Each of these screws costs hundreds of dollars. The plates over $1,000. The cages are over $1,000 a piece. When you start getting into the lower back, things get bigger, screws get bigger, and bigger screws mean more money. Screws like this cost around $1,300 a piece, and the cage itself is anywhere between $4,000 to $5,000. So we're talking big money when it comes to spine surgery and spinal implants. So here we have an article about Globus Medical sues Lifespine, alleging patent infringements and violations. What's the big deal? Well, basically the big deal is these companies are literally fighting in court, suing each other over who's going to get the money and profits when it comes to surgeons putting screws and cages into your body. So stop right there. Why are we putting screws and cages any more into people's spines. Well, now we have endoscopic spine surgery, much better option, tiny incision. You don't have to open the body up. There's no bleeding, there's no scar tissue, there's no removing bone, and most importantly, you don't need screws and rods. So how do we avoid getting screws and rods put in? You've got to find a surgeon who knows how to do endoscopic spine surgery, like Deuk Spine Institute. Check out this endoscopic spine surgery. We're making a tiny incision, we're going in with a little metal tube, we're actually repairing the herniated disc or bulging disc to get rid of the pain. And look, there's no need to put in screws and rods or cages. So we could help these companies. They don't need to fight each other anymore when nobody's putting in screws and rods. Thanks, Dr. Deukmedjian. Hope you enjoyed the segment on Spine Scams Exposed.
Hello everyone, Dr. Deuk is on his way, but meanwhile, you can download the Deuk Spine app on the App Store and Google Play Store. It is available for free, and it is your one-stop shop for anything spine related. You can watch all our live surgeries there, and even request a free MRI review from Dr. Deuk himself. He will be coming right this way. Thank you for staying patient.
Dr. Deukmedjian here, wrapping up an, I was going to say an anterior cervical discectomy, but no. That patient I just saw, she's on her way home with her family, and she's doing good. She's a little nauseated because she had general anesthesia, and that kind of makes people nauseated, but she's doing good. The last patient, this one, the one that you're watching, was a Deuk laser disc repair. We went on both sides. So I want to show you what we're doing. You get an idea. What's different about this surgery that you watched today? Number one, the incision on the skin was only 7 millimeters. It's like that big. And number two, rather than coming straight at the spine in the back here, like everyone else does, peeling the muscles off like we did earlier today on that laminectomy, and then making a hole in the bone, we don't do that. We actually come from the side, around the side, and look what's right there. Bam, the herniation. See it? Right there. So instead of coming here, you know, like right here, we come from the side and we get straight into the herniation right there. And I can take that herniation out with the laser. That's the beauty of this procedure. There's no bone removed out of the spine. There's no ligaments. We're not taking the facet joint out. It's all natural, just literally skin incision and then pass through the muscles and get straight into the herniation and zap it out with the laser like we did. Everything went good. I think this patient will do really well. We'll just have to wait and see. I want you to all notice that I never fixed the slippage of the bone. We call that spondylolisthesis. L4 was slipping on L5, okay? You don't need to fix spondylolisthesis as long as it's a grade 1 and maybe even some of the grade 2s. I have to look at the MRIs to tell you for sure, but about 95% of spondylolistheses do not need to be repaired or fused. All you got to do is fix the disc between them, and then you get rid of the pain. I've done it over 100 times, and it works without doing fusion, without doing laminectomy or any of that invasive stuff, just doing the endoscope. Questions?
All right, cool. So, will advancements in LASIK repair laser repair, will allow for a wider range of procedures, or will there always be surgeries that require screws and plates?
Well, one of our viewers is saying, hey, when we get advancements in laser surgery, will it allow you to treat the different areas of the spine so you don't need screws and plates and metal? The answer is we're already there. If you go to the Deuk Spine Institute YouTube channel right now, look at the playlists, and you will see that there's neck pain, which is the cervical spine. So a herniated disc in the neck, or a thoracic herniation, or a lumbar herniation. We're able to fix all of them endoscopically. No plates, no screws, no rods, no fusion. So right now, today at Deuk Spine Institute, we are doing endoscopic surgery along the whole spine from the top of the neck to the tailbone. At any disc, it doesn't matter. We're able to fix it with the laser. We're the only place in the world doing endoscopic. This is called transforaminal, just so you understand what I mean. That's the foramen right there. Trans means across. So you're literally going across the foramen from the back to the front. And that little distance, that like centimeter and a half of distance that you pass with your tube is called transforaminal because you're going through the foramen. So we're the only place in the world that does transforaminal endoscopic surgery in the thoracic spine. That's the only way to do it. The only other way you want to do thoracic spine surgery for a herniated disc will be a giant laminectomy. You have to remove the entire facet joint. You got to sometimes remove the pedicle, the ribs. The ribs run right through here. So we're the only place in the world that does a 4 millimeter incision. I go in and repair a herniated disc in the thoracic spine. We're the only place in the world now that's going through and repairing the cervical spine herniated disc through the front. No metal, no plates, no screws, nothing. Just a tiny little hole. Fix the disc, come out, all natural, nothing left in. And of course, there are, probably 50 to 100 endoscopic spine surgeons for the lower back, for the lumbar spine, worldwide. Chinese, Koreans, Germans, all over the world. There's usually one per country because it's a newer technology. But in the United States, I think I'm probably the only five in the United States that do lumbar transforaminal endoscopic surgery. And I'm the only one that goes L5S1 transforaminal. Everyone else goes interlaminar through the lamina. So to answer your question, we already don't need to do any more screws and rods, except in rare cases where the disc is completely down and there's giant bone spurs, and it's the bone spurs, the giant bone spurs causing the problems. Then the laser is not a good option, but that's rare that happens.
Okay, cool. What's the longevity of glass rods? Do they deteriorate?
What's the longevity of glass rods?
Yeah, is there glass rods?
No, there's no such thing as glass rods. I'm not sure what rod you're talking about, but the laser fiber itself that we use, it can be used about 5 times and then it doesn't work. But there are no rods that we put in the spine that are made out of glass.
Okay. All right. Can a cage be removed and repaired with this procedure?
Can a spinal cage be removed and repaired with this procedure? The answer is no, not. So this is the cage that they're talking about in the lower back. There's a cage right there. It's called an inner body cage. And if you're talking about the neck, there are cages for the neck as well. I have so many spines everywhere. Well, this is a pretty good one right here. So if you look here, you can actually see a cage in there. There's no way for the laser to remove the cage in the neck or back. Once you have a cage and a disc, it's pretty much there. There aren't many surgeons that will go in and get a cage out. It's too dangerous, too risky, and I'll be honest with you, it's unnecessary unless there's an infection around the cage, in which case you may want to get it taken out. But there's really no other reason to take a cage out other than an infected cage. If the cage didn't fuse, I would leave it there and try to refuse it a different way, through the back maybe. And then if there's a herniated disc next to the cage, you can treat that with a laser. We actually have a patient I've recommended that for. Patient had a lumbar fusion with a cage just like that, but the surgeon never took the herniation out of the back on the opposite side, so I'm going to go in there with a laser and zap that herniation out, and that should take care of that area.
Okay. The last one right now is it okay to cut the ligaments? And yeah, that's all.
So the question is it okay to cut the ligaments? Generally, you don't want to cut ligaments at all between bones. Ligaments hold bones and stabilize them. When you cut ligaments, the bones go crazy. They're not held in position anymore. So today we cut ligaments when we did a posterior cervical laminectomy and fusion. I cut the ligaments holding the bones together, but then I fused the bones right afterwards. So as long as you're going to do a fusion, it's okay to cut the ligaments. But in reality, you shouldn't be cutting ligaments at all. Just do the endoscopic laser surgery. There won't be any ligaments cut.
All right. Thank you so much, doctor.
Excellent. Well, thanks for all the questions. I really enjoy answering them. I hope I did a good job of answering them for you. And my team has done a wonderful job, including Diego here, for sticking around so late tonight and doing a great job broadcasting. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'll be back, not next week because I'll be out of town, but the week after. We'll start with surgeries on Tuesday, and I know we've got a full schedule already for the following week. In the meantime, go to the Deuk Spine YouTube channel and watch some of our videos. We've got over about 2,000 of them. And we've been broadcasting surgeries live now for 8 years, all of our surgeries here. So there's a lot of content to watch. And we've got the Spine Scams Exposed, which is pretty interesting, where I basically bash on people and things, you know, for what it's worth. And then we've got our app. Don't forget the app. Download the Deuk Spine app. Today and today only, it's free. After today, it'll be $1 million for a download. All right. Have a